G'day everybody, welcome to Free Fiat episode 4. You'll have to forgive my neighbours today. They've got some doof going at high speed. They're good tunes, they're just going to be in the background. So today our goal is to get this thing to turn over, if not start. I have come up with a solution for the air intake pipe. It's ugly, we're not going to talk about it. I am going to come up with something better, but for now I at least have the air system sealed. So I'm going to do that, put the new sump washer on, put some oil in it. I still don't have a key, but I'm cooking a plan. So let's get on with it. So to solve the air intake pipe, I've got a piece of radiator hose here, which is nice and firm, a piece of aluminium air intake pipe from a turbo system, some silicone hose, and 4 big clamps. There is clearance here, so I was worried about rubbing there. It is done up nice and firm. We'll just check the bonnet. The bonnet does close, which is good, and it's a win. Radiator seems to be holding water, which is good. And we've got some new sump plugs, one for the top of the transmission and one for the sump plug. And I found the tripod, which was exactly where I'd left it. Rethinking the transmission oil, I've got to do some research. I put in like a heavy hydraulic oil, suspecting it might need 80W90 or something heavier, being a gearbox and a hydraulic system. So if you got any thoughts, let me know. It is a shared system, so the gearbox and transmission oil is the same. So yeah, anyway, let's get on with it. So they're just an aluminium washer. Just gonna oh, and they don't fit, son of a bitch. Take 2. So the alloy ones didn't fit, and the fibre ones aren't perfect, but they'll do the job. So put that one in. We'll just leave that loose for now because I want to have a look in there once we get it started. How's that for optimism? When we get it started, if we get it started, I want to have a look inside. We'll do it up finger tight. I'll get down and get that one out and replace that, and then we'll do some oil. So while we were putting the sump plug in, the postie went past, and that might mean that there is treasure. Ooh, there's treasure. I'll just have a look at what we've got. So this may make my day, it may not. It's from the right place, and it is a Fiat key. How exciting. Well, it fits, but we might need to modify the end a little bit or give it some more cleaning, but we're on the right track. It doesn't quite go in far enough, so there might be some schmutz on the inside. So the book says, or the internet says 7.5 litres. There's 9 litres in this drum. So I'm going to put about 6 in and then see how we're going. So that's 6 litres, and we're just starting to appear on the stick. So put another litre in. It does have a very big oil filter on it, so give that a minute to find its way in there. The dog checked the oil. No, dogs don't check oil. So we'll have a clean up. The key's good, we just have to make it shorter. Might need some more yet. So that's about 8 litres, and just gonna leave it at that and let it sit for a while. But now it's time to turn it over by hand, which is easy because I've got this and I've got a big screwdriver. So it's a lot harder to turn over by hand now than it was, which is a good sign. The radiator's still holding water, but I'm still a little concerned about this here, whether that's actually a leak from the pipe, but we'll keep an eye on that. It's got water, it'll go round and round. So I'll modify this key and give this little key thing a clean, and then we might put some power on it and see what it does. Righto, this might be difficult to see, but we've ended up taking the key barrel out because you see this little gateway just here at the end of my thumb? It was closed over. So we've taken it out so we can get some slippery in there and use the big screwdriver to turn it, and now the key goes round and round. So I'll get it reinstalled and I'll show you how it works. So key installed, turny turny spinny spinny, happy days, that's another win. So I guess we're ready to potentially put some power on. I still think that hose is leaking, and I've put a cable tie around the electrical wiring there. So let me get some batteries and some electricals and we'll see if we can make something make noise. Righto, so we've got a power source. We'll see how we go with this. We've got the injector lines loosened off and the fuel's not on yet, so I have to turn that on. So. And I've still got this covered up because I'm not optimistic about this working. We're in neutral because these have a neutral start switch. The fuel's on. Turn the key on. Got nothing on the dashboard at all. We'll just try the start and see what it does. That's a good sign. It's trying to blow this tape off, so let's take that off. Some idiot put 900 layers of gas tape on here, so we'll get that off and we'll set the camera up and see if we can get some spinny spinny turny turny. So the noise in the background is the car. We're hooked up with jumper leads. I definitely have a water leak somewhere here, but that's all right. It's not going to affect us here. All the noises are making the noises. Let's see if it'll spin. So, fuel coming out of the injector pump. We'll let that just sit for a minute. We'll do these ones back up. So if there was old fuel in there, it's now out. See if we get the other three to stick liquid out the top. So that's fuel out of 2 and 4. Got a few more revs going into the car. This battery's as dead as a doornail. And we'll just keep chipping away. It's either going to fire or it won't. I'm more on the optimistic side of it won't fire. But it's a good sign, we've got fuel going in. If it does start, we'll see what happens. I haven't seen any clouds of blue smoke come out of it yet. The exhaust pipe's down there, so we won't see it. Alright, throttle's about halfway. Let's have another go. Proper flat, but I do have fuel out of this one, so we'll do this up, we'll let things just sit for a while and get some voltage back in this battery. Okay, so while everything cools down, I thought I'd pull this radiator hose off, and this thermostat is full of rust, so now I've got to clean that out. Well, that's not great, is it? So here's all the schmuzzo we took out of the thermostat. It'll clean up all right. Pretty sure the leak was coming from just the rust build up. It's a bit hard to see, the rust build up in the pipe. So I'll give it all a good clean and goop it back together. I may have a thermostat in the shed from a previous job, but I'll have to have a look. And I have to get a pair of needle nose pliers because down in there, in that throat, I think there's a piece of rust stuck. But I won't force it. You can just sort of see it sticking up there, or it's a butterfly or something, I don't know. I'll have a look, but there you go. Right, everybody, that'll conclude the morning session. I am going to have another go at starting this afternoon when everything's charged and I'm in a happier mood. It's doing everything right. I've got fuel to the injectors, it's got smoke coming out the exhaust pipe, which means something's moving through there, happy days. It's just not quite spinning fast enough, I think. So the battery's charging, the jump pack's charging, the car's having a rest, the tractor's in the sunshine. It hasn't run for a very long time, so I'm not entirely surprised, but frustrating. But not really, because you know, it is what it is. So I took that pipe off, we'll fix that now. I'll have some lunch, I've got to go and roll start the other tractor and get it running and see how wet it is out there. So, see you a bit later. Wait! Wait!
I'm on the truck all the time, so.
Moving there, fuel.
Yeah, I can't work out where from. Right, everybody, we're going to wrap this one. As you saw, or hopefully I've seen, I've got to find this hundreds of videos of us trying to start the tractor. It tried to fire. I'm still not convinced there's enough fuel getting to the injectors. I've got plenty of fuel on the inside of the pump, but I'm not sure it's getting to the outside of the pump now, whether it's blocked or I don't know. I'm also going to have a look and see if this is a 12 volt or 24 volt tractor, because quite frankly, this thing's doing my head in. We've had 2 cars hooked up to it, 12 volts in parallel, and it'll turn over what looks to be fast enough. So it's definitely fuel related and it's doing my head in. So thanks for watching. The dogs and I have had enough of today. The moon is up there and it'll live soon. But I'm having the weekend off because I'm having the weekend off. And the other tractor wouldn't start either today. Here's the footage. See you next time.